Good morning, Rocky Ford family. Love you guys. Let's jump into our devotional video for Tuesday. Let's go over our question this week. We're still walking through the 10 Commandments when it comes to our New City Catechism questions. And the question is, what does God require in the 6th, 7th, and 8th commandments? 6th, that we do not hurt or hate our neighbor. 7th, that we love purely and faithfully. 8th, that we do not take without permission that which belongs to someone else. So this week, what I want us to do is I want us to look at Scripture. I want us to grow in our knowledge of Him. And so what I'm hoping, really, these devotions this week, as we take 3 to 5 minutes each morning to think about something on Scripture, is I hope it's twofold. One, I hope that it encourages you to be in Scripture more. That if we learn about this thing that is so good and so awesome and such a direct link to the God we love, that we will be in it more. And the second thing that I really hope it does for us is that I hope that it might encourage you to plug into the Sunday school curriculum that we're doing, because what we're going to talk about here is just the smallest little section of that. And so as we look at those things, I hope that you're encouraged, that it kind of pricks an interest in your head and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder more about that. And you'll go to check out the link for that in regards to what we're doing. So, all that being said, Scripture. The first thing I want us to talk about this week in regards to Scripture is a fundamental truth that we know is true because simply that Scripture exists. And that is that God is knowable and that He wants us to know Him. God, the creator of all things, and the one that we more often than not war against, isn't distant and unknowable, but He is personal and able to be known by us. That He took the time throughout history to write to us in a way that we would read those words and then come to know Him more. Yes, God is quite other than us. There are things about Him that we just can't hardly grasp, that He was not created, that He has been forever, that there is no such thing as even the question of who created God. And yet, He's knowable. That you and I could come and find out more about Him. And not that He's just knowable, but that He wants to be known by us. So we didn't set out on an expedition to find God. He's too big for that to happen. But He came to find us. He's not like the depths of the sea or the heights of a mountain that we may see off in the distance or believe to possibly be there, and then in our own efforts and in our own ways seek to discover and learn more about Him. To dig deeper down, to swim farther below, and to learn more about Him. No. He is so otherly that the only way we could is if He penetrated our world Himself. So for Him to do so means He wants to be known. That He didn't sit outside of our little snow globe of existence, but He came into it. C.S. Lewis says the only way we would know something about Him is if He wrote Himself into our story, just like the only way the characters in a story would know anything about the author is if the author wrote himself in. And the author of your life and my life, the author of the mega narrative that is going on, playing out in our world from beginning to end, has wrote Himself into the story. He did so in the person of Jesus Christ, of course, but He also did so in the form of His Word from Genesis to Revelation. That He would from time to time directly speak to men of God who would then pin down a thing that wasn't of them but was of their Creator, and that we could sit here hundreds of years later, languages later, cultures later, and know Him. The God who loves you can be known, and He wants to be known. So will we come to know Him? I love you guys.